already up.
Mm.
Somebody put it up.
Well, it was up.
Oh, yep. Okay, now we have now done the got the live video up, etc. And at this point, I'll make Stephanie as soon as I find her. Stephanie, a host, and I will let Stephanie make you, Rebecca, a co-host.
Doing that now. Appreciate everybody and their patience, because one of the things we're learning in this is we're learning how to make our Zoom game, all of our interactions work better, and sometimes what that involves.
I have a composting customer down the street, and I am trying to. We have a service that comes and picks up your food waste and turns it into compost. Is that something you're interested in?
Okay, I think I got everybody muted now. I apologize. Somebody was in the way. Let's unmute the folks who need to talk. There's lots of things beeping and bopping around. So part of what we try and do is we try and show you how things actually come to fruition instead of delivering you things that have already been finished. So some of what goes on in that is we bumble a little. So our YouTube game is how to get everything going and everything set before Bill hits YouTube. So, that's just what we do. So thank you. You get to see how it works. I appreciate it. So we're on YouTube. We've just listened to me rattle on about us learning about everything. And now, Bill, do we have an icebreaker poll today where we determine interest? Are we going to pop that up so that we can know what folks are interested in, or we had a little challenge with that getting started? So is that in our game today or not?
No, it isn't. It is not.
Okay. Then if you'd like to, please include in the chat anything that you're interested in and things that we might keep an eye out for. I'm going to speak for just a second about a topic I talked about this morning, which is called being ratioed in social media posts. That'll give Rebecca time to get ready to do Discord when I'm done, because we always like to kick into that. So I'll talk for a little while. So being ratioed. Being ratioed is a term that is discussed in social media that is driven mostly by how the algorithm or math problem behind social media decides what to promote and what to depromote. So at its simplest, it is the ratio of your icons, favorites, likes, etc., to your comments. And if you have more comments than, I don't know what the right word is, maybe you can help me, Rebecca. Favorite. What do we call those little things that we attach to in Facebook? Emojis? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Reactions.
I was trying to make it harder. Reactions. Because I use the word sentiment analysis, but it's not going to mean anything to anybody because that's a more advanced topic. I was trying to come up with a good word. So thank you. The emojis that you put are smaller than the number of comments, because what that implies is a lack of engagement as opposed to a lack of response. Help me. Anybody want to pop in here who's got experience? I am thrilled. But when you are looking at a post, the subject came up this morning about blue sky, and one of our members had posted something, and what she saw was a bunch of comments, and she didn't know where. So it moved into a little discussion of bots, which kind of turns into, and if you see this, this may be what's happening, an attempt to ratio you based on comments and depromote your post. So that's a much larger topic, but I just wanted everyone to have a chance to understand that concept as we're talking about tech, because it is part of what we see in posting. So I'll take a question. Go ahead.
Where would you see? I think you're talking. You said something about posting.
Any social media platform where you can have both emojis, response, likes, loves, angers,
Okay,
and you can have comments. So it is the relationship between those emojis and the comments that creates a ratio. To be ratioed is to be downplayed or to be made less important.
can
And
you,
go ahead.
can you show one that, that we would all kind of identify with?
Let me see if I can find something. How about this? I will come back with an example after Rebecca finishes Discord, and I've got something prepared. So I don't know if Rebecca's ready, but if she is,
Okay,
hit it, Rebecca.
All right, sounds good. So a lot of you guys have heard me talk about Discord before. So you guys are going to get a replay of that. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as we go along. For those of you who are new, welcome. Discord is it's a platform. You can either download it or you can use it on discord.com. But basically, it is kind of like a message board where groups of people can go to have conversations on different topics. And here in our NWSOFA group, we have set up our own Discord, what they call a Discord server. So it's essentially a private group that's just for all of us to keep our conversations going outside of Zoom calls like this. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. It is free, and let me put the instructions in the chat if you would like to join us on Discord. So it's a 3-step process. Join us on Discord. Okay, so I put the instructions into the chat. The first step is you'll have to download it either from like an app store or discord.com. Number 2 is you'll have to register an account, or if you already use Discord with a different server, then you would just make sure that you're signed in. And then the third step is accessing our specific server. Our Discord group is invite only, and we do that for security reasons. We don't want bots or trolls or anything like that. So it's only for like the cool kids club, which is all of y'all. So you are all welcome to join us. You have the invite link in the chat. So would love to see some new faces. As of the latest count, which is right now, we have 219 members. So that is wonderful. So what, 220. Yes, yes. All right, whoever just joined, thank you. That is awesome. So I will quickly go over what, how I use Discord and a couple of just navigational tips and tricks. And then we can see if there are questions. Okay. Oh, I'm not a co-host, so I can't share.
Hang on, I'm coming back. I'll help
Okay.
you out. I am sorry. We will fix that.
Thank you.
Yes, my bad.
So while that happens, Discord is organized at the biggest level into, all right, here we go, into what I mentioned, servers. So these are like the different groups that so each of these is a separate potentially group of people. Some of them you have to pay to be part of. Our server is free, but it is invite only. So that's the invite link in the chat. And our server is the one with the Statue of Liberty icon. From there, you can see we have quite a few of these kind of categories in here, and those are called channels. And each channel you can think of as a conversation on a different topic. At least that's the way we've organized it here. So we have some channels which are more informational. We have a couple of voice channels so people can get together and talk in real time, kind of like phone calls or Zoom calls. And then we have a bunch of channels that are more about news and discussion topics. So you can see we've got US news, we have foreign, we've got history. And then we have a whole bunch of channels about activism. So we have some calls to action, some boycotts, information about candidates and campaigns. And then we have our community section, which is less about politics stuff and more about just us being people and, being more of a community and getting to know each other. So and then in addition to that, there's issue teams. So there's just a wealth of possibilities here, ways to participate. And I will say that the more people that are posting and reading and reacting to everything in here, the more of a rich, vibrant community it will be. If everyone is just too shy to post anything, then this is going to be a pretty boring Discord server. Fortunately, we do have some folks that are good about posting things, so that's great. A couple of channels that I'd like to orient everyone to are the first couple that you see in the information category. So we have welcome and rules, and that'll be important because this is the set of guidelines that you are agreeing to if you choose to join our Discord server. And also, most recently in here, we've shared a Discord beginners tutorial. So that's a great thing to watch if you want to learn a little bit more outside of my little spiel here today. Let's see. Announcements is a good one to follow because I try to do it on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Early in the week, I post the NWSOFA schedule of calls that we're doing this week. So it's kind of a one-stop shop of, what are we up to this week? And there's registration links for your convenience. And the resources section is super handy. People just kind of share different things, if there are helpful events coming up or, helpful presentations, things like that. One thing that I would like to call out is if you are a participant in Coffee and Conversation, our colleague Constance has put together talking points on and she calls them little note cards, but they're sort of informational on certain topics. So as of yesterday, she had put one together on James Comey. He was indicted recently, and she linked to it. She set it up as a Google Doc and then sent us the link. It does look like that she hasn't actually given us the right link to the one that, okay, so that's something that we can give Constance feedback about. If she's sharing Google Docs, she needs to set up the access for it. But beside the point. So this is just, you know, a really great place where people can share information, share news articles, social media posts, things like that, that you would like to have other folks be aware of. So if you wanted to find one thing that I should mention is that your list of channels is going to be just a subset of these. If you want to select, or if you want to change your list of channels, you're going to go to the top of all of these and click Browse Channels. And then this will let you choose which channels, which of these conversation topics you want to see in your list. And there's a whole bunch of them. So you can be as selective or as inclusive as you want to be. I am viewing a lot of channels. So because I don't mind scrolling down, but you may want to be more selective about what you follow. So anything that you have as a check mark here is going to show up in your list off to the left there. But so when you want to post something, you are just going to find one of the channels that is most appropriate for whatever you're posting, and then you can type or copy in your link or share a photo or whatever it is. You type it in and you hit enter, and you're sharing your post. Beth, do you have a question?
No, well, you answered it. I was gonna say maybe some people don't know how to put stuff in, but
okay, got it.
yeah, you did it.
Cool. You can also use emojis to respond to other folks' posts. So well, 2 days ago, it looks like Deanna posted an article from Substack. And if I read that and I liked it, I could use, you know, any of these emojis, or if you scroll down, you can choose from any of these emojis, like, and then if you were like, oh, I didn't mean to post that, you could just unclick it. You could click it and it would go away. If you posted something and you realized, oh, I put that in the wrong place, or I didn't mean to share that, the way that you can edit it. So if you like tap on it and click the pencil, it'll let you edit it. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, who down? Somebody give me a thumbs down. All right, thank you. And it's gone. That's rude. Anyway, so you can either edit, or if you didn't mean to post it at all, you can click the little 3 dots thing and then delete message. So delete. And if you want to practice posting or figuring out some of these skills, the Sandbox channel is a place that we specifically set up for, you know, anything goes in there as long as it's within community guidelines. So nobody's going to get mad at you if you are kind of just doodling around in there. Okay, no problem. I just, I was like, who gave me a thumbs down? Sad. Okay. Are there any questions on Discord? I know that was very quick and dirty, but I did want to just share that information. Dr. Chris.
Yeah, hey. I got on a little bit late, so but I saw the post in the comments about the ratios, so I'm assuming you covered it or it came up as a question. Can you just clarify in what context that was mentioned?
Yeah, that was not a that was
Excellent segue.
yeah, okay.
If we're
I'm
done,
gonna
if we're done, only if we're done with Discord. Let's make sure we clear the house on Discord. Don't you think?
Does anybody else have a Discord question before we bounce back to that?
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
I was a plant. It wasn't really my question. I was just told to say it. No, it really wasn't
Well,
my question.
Well, your timing was magnificent because I asked Rebecca to give me just a minute to come up with examples and a good story on use case on ratioing because I started talking about it and then it was like, I guess there might be 5 seconds more interest in it. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because that will help us, maybe. I'm going to make everybody crazy. Because what I'm going to share is X, just because it gives me some good examples. So I apologize. And where I have gone to is Ted Cruz's account. Well, it's
Oh my
important
God.
because a perfect example of him being ratioed was his post when he went to Cancun. So I was trying to think of an example that folks would remember emotionally, but not necessarily have any idea what was going on in terms of what was happening. So we can see my screen now. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So what we are looking at is a post on X, or what used to be Twitter. And we are looking at the account of Ted Cruz from Texas. And he has been being he's been being very loud in terms of his support for Texas, etc. And, who's going to come and take it? I guess we could try and decide. But what I was speaking of in being ratioed, okay, is the number right here of likes is 2,600, and the number of comments is 105. So this post, in effect, is a positive post in the sense that it will not be influenced by the process of being ratioed or depromoted by having more comments than there are likes. And why is that? It's because when the algorithm was set up, I am sure there is some wicked good data science that nobody is interested in on this call. But the determination was if there are more comments than there are emojis, you have been ratioed and therefore downplayed. That's what I got. Questions, because I could probably answer those if anybody has a comment. But that I've got a definition of ratioed from Merriam-Webster that will drop in the chat just so everybody has a good working definition of it verbally and in writing if they need to. So that was all that was about, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, so no, I'm very interested in this because I think we've got to better understand the whole algorithm science, if you will. This is the part I didn't understand in the chat with the explanation. So what it said is a social media post. It just seemed counterintuitive when it said if it is shared a lot, because I would think that if it's shared a lot, that would be a good thing.
Ignore my, okay. I apologize. I was being fast and loose in my response. Okay. So there is an actual formula and I will be happy to get it and get it to everybody. I mean, I was trying to give kind of a broad understanding and then drill into a deeper understanding. So no, there's not a ton of materials that I had prepared. There is a definition of ratioing that has been actually affirmed by Merriam-Webster. And that's how you know when words have gotten into the vernacular as we start adding terms like this into the actual dictionary. I find it fascinating every year what gets added because it tells me what's going on in some strange way. So we'll get that definition up there. And if you give me
Stephanie, if I could just, because it may be my question is probably simpler than what you are thinking I'm asking. So that it's this specific part. when it,
Okay.
so I understand that there's a formula, et cetera, and that part isn't as important. But what I didn't understand specifically, it says when a post receives, something and it has more comments or reposts than likes or favorites. I would have thought of a post that was not popular intuitively, I would have thought people would not repost it. So I mean, at least I don't repost something that I don't like. So it was the repost thing that was confusing
Yes.
to me.
I misspoke. You're absolutely right. It is the relationship between likes and comments that creates a ratio. You are 100% correct. I misspoke in the chat. We'll make sure it gets erased and doesn't get recirculated, and never let it happen again, I swear. But as long as I'm hosting, something's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It just looked like this was coming directly out of Merriam-Webster. So is it wrong in Merriam-Webster?
Maybe Laura gave me the Merriam-Webster reference. So I am not reading it directly. What I was speaking to was what I posted.
Oh, and I was looking
let's
at
get,
the
yeah,
Merriam-Webster.
that's fine. We're going to get Laura to unmute and she's going to speak to what's in the Merriam-Webster for us. And that way we can get a good dictionary definition. Take it away,
Well,
Laura.
I let me try something else first. Ratioed, is it bots that are doing all the zillions of
Yes.
reposts and comments?
Again, reposting, I reposting.
Right.
I tend to not repost things I don't like. But what do we got for an analysis from, what does Merriam-Webster give us as the definition, since we're going to detail that now?
Okay. Well,
So what I can jump in.
to give, sorry,
Please help me out.
To give considerably more negative than positive responses on a social media post.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that involves what is perceived as negative. Hit it, Rebecca.
So typically, big picture, being ratioed means, as Laura said, more negative responses or reactions than positive ones. So positive ones would be things like the heart emoji or just reposting it. Negative reactions could be quote tweeting it and then commenting on it like this is a bunch of crap, or if you're just commenting on the post. So it's a little unclear like what just a repost, whether that would count as positive or negative. I would think positive, but like a quote tweet where you're gonna quote it and then argue with it, that would be potentially negative. The takeaway here is being ratioed means negative interactions with your post are higher than positive interactions. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Yeah, I got all the number. It was just that one thing in the definition that said reposting, but I guess what you explained.
I'm going to post the formula, and it doesn't mention reposting at all.
At all.
So
Okay.
yeah. So replies, likes, it is all of this is hidden underneath somebody's algorithm. And we all try and figure out what it means by watching and doing and deconstructing those relationships. So because are we looking now? Can we see my screen about replies, likes, and ratios? And yeah, I just went and grabbed a quick definition.
Yes.
So hopefully this will give you another way to look at it that might be more clear. So a ratio of 1 where likes and replies are the same begins to signal backlash. So it is the mathematical relationship between comments or replies and their emojis, because it is perceived that if someone doesn't click an emoji, they probably come there to argue. a lot of people doing angries. So, but that is the, I think that's it. Did that help? Maybe.
Yeah, it did. And Stephanie, the reason it was really interesting for me, you guys may have heard me mention that we had that Riverwalk silent protest. And that
Mhm.
was one where we actually are at like 731,000 views. Like we have never reached that number before. So we were like, wow, like what was it that resonated? And then I'm just looking at the numbers now. So there were, I think it was like, um, 40,000 likes, 4.1 hearts, and then and then there were a couple of like 110 laughing and 118.
It doesn't matter. Do you have comments?
Yeah, it was something like 2,000 comments.
Okay. So I think in relationship there, your comments to your reactions is probably what you want to look at. And if your reactions were higher, you are favorable or sub one. And if your reactions are lower, you are greater than one. Again, got to do the math, but you are greater than one, which is one is so a one-to-one relationship between comments and reactions is generally considered to be even. Below one, not ratioed, above one ratioed.
Weird. Yeah, because I'm looking at it again. So it was 1.6 thousand comments and then 44,000 reactions.
Very sub ratioed. Yeah. Divide your reactions by your comments and you would understand. I'm sorry, it would result in your ratio, which is considerably less than one. It's a good real world example, Chris. I appreciate you asking.
Okay.
Keep going.
Thanks.
What do you say? No,
Well,
keep going.
well, no,
what
because
don't you see?
my initial conclusion was 731 views with 1.6 thousand comments is a good thing, but it sounds like what you're saying is because the comments were less or more than what we got in terms of reactions, then it may not be a good thing, right?
Exactly the opposite, Chris. Exactly the opposite.
Okay, all right.
Yes, because it's perceived that if someone is commenting without reacting, they are probably coming there to give you trouble.
Okay.
Again,
okay.
I'm being general in the way that I speak, but I there's a whole math formula and yes, and it's different, a little bit different for everybody, and everyone is trying to figure out how to crack it. But I will tell you that the video that you posted, those videos are extremely popular. I've seen several folks who are doing the black shirt with the What is Fascism series, and it's great. And I have never seen it ratioed. It is well received.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. What are we going to do next? All right.
See.
So we have discussed Substack. We've discussed what's posting on Substack. I didn't have a chance to look in the comments and hear what folks are most interested in listening to today. I can certainly go to Substack. I think it's important that we separate our reader, as in consumer of Substack, and publisher of Substack into slightly separate tracks, only because we will be doing something in the subscribe or the publishing component of the tool, and we end up in a reader question, and I think we bounce around a lot. So if everybody's okay, we'll do Substack, but let's take it first if you're a reader and then if you're a publisher. And if I could get some kind of reaction that works, because I feel like I'm talking to myself. Maybe I should unmute you all.
I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why my video is off. That's weird. It looks like there's a couple of thumbs up, so people are supportive of a Substack.
Substack. Okay, then let's do that. Give me just a second, and I will try and make good filler conversation, but I have no guarantee. So, well, heck, I'll just share from here, and I'll log into Substack. So let's do it. So the way I'm going to start is I'm going to go to a browser screen because I'm using a desktop. And I am going to path in substack.com. And it asks you here frequently if you want to download an app. That app is for your phone or your other mobile device, not for there is not an extra app for your desktop, is what I'm trying to say. So there are no additional features available in the desktop. There are add-ins that people have created that I am not prepared to discuss very intelligently here today. Just know that they exist because sometimes tool sets are not as robust as we want them to be. So folks code things or create things that can be added into platforms. So if you are a user and you start Substack like I just did, what happens is you essentially get a news feed of your subscriptions. So very much like you follow someone or subscribe to them on Facebook or somewhere else, similar things can be done here. So my feed, I'm going to scroll through it just a little bit. So as a reader, this is where I live. I live here because it tells me what's going on with the folks that I have posted. And if you're going to be folks that I have followed. Apologize, I misspoke. So if I have followed or subscribed, your feed fits in here. The other thing that Substack will do is it will, based on who you follow, give you an opportunity for people to follow. So I'm going to select Aaron Parnas to follow because I know that if I go over to his site, I'm going to get the opportunity to look at upgrading and subscribing to paid. So that will be something else we can talk about. As a reader, your suggestions based on your post, again, a mathematical algorithm or equation that generates how people get promoted will show up in suggestions. Follow them. If you want to know who you are subscribed to as a reader, go to your subscriptions. And this tells me everybody whose newsletter I am subscribing to. When we were talking about emojis, so you can emote from here, we're liking bills. I can link to it, so that may be what we want to do with ads. I don't know. We're going to discuss that from a business perspective. I can save it because I want to read it later, or I can eliminate my subscription. Okay, so I can like, which gives them a good positive. I can link if I want to put him somewhere. I can save it so I can read it later, or I can remove my subscription, which I don't want to do. But we will practice that somewhere else just so you get to see it. So if I apologize. That post is for that is for archive. So it takes it out of my main news feed and makes it something that I can go back to later. It does not unsubscribe me. I am so sorry. Let's be a reader and let's go over to a Substack and let's look at what's on the screen. That was a pick I didn't want. We'll look at our coffee and conversation post. So because I am subscribed over here, my subscribed is grayed out. My three arrows, which we are learning give us menus for everything, are the copy, embed, save, and archive. So the pieces of the same thing you can do from the interface are in the drop-down menus. That was in my scroll. So now I'm going to actually open up that Substack.
Stephanie, you have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Jim, go ahead and unmute.
Hi, thanks. I just had a question. I got inundated by a bunch of people were not asking me, but they sort of signed me up to be following them. Is there a way to stop that?
I'm going to guess that what happened is the posts that you subscribe to also suggest, and maybe not because they are intending to, but sometimes. So it has some things to do with the way that they are being promoted. So the cross promotion on Substack is profound because it is a publisher platform that folks are trying to get readers for their particular posting. I would suggest that you unsubscribe to them if it recurs, if you continue to get things that you feel like are forced into your feed, and not because you're following them. So when you're looking at do make sure that they are something that is actually being forced on you and not just suggested to you that you can take if you choose to. That'd be my thought. Now, I've talked. Tell me what I got wrong.
No, I did get both kinds, I think, suggested as well as, and the suggestion was what sort of inundated me because it just sent me a
Yes.
whole bunch, and I didn't know what to do with that. So
Yeah.
I just ended up deleting them because a lot of them didn't apply to anything I was thinking about. So
No, that was a really good question because I expect that may happen to several folks because of trying to cross populate and cross share so that we can get eyeballs in the things that we are the most interested in. So, I may, with my Substack, may think that we need to follow, Kara Swisher because she's a combination of tech and business, and I really like her. Doesn't mean that you're going to relate to her at all, but that is how some of that stuff comes to us.
okay, thank you. And there's
Oh,
no
my
way to
pleasure.
stop it, right?
Well, again, I'm going to say the answer to that is yes. I just can't get to the answer now, but I will.
Okay.
And that's the best I can do with some things. So,
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, my pleasure. All right. So, do we have any questions on the reader portion of Substack? Only because that was a great question about, like, all of a sudden I've got 800 emails and I don't want to do this anymore because I'm overwhelmed. So
No
I can't
questions.
see you. Okay, thank you. I can't see. I appreciate it. All right. So if you are a publisher of Substack, you get to go to a whole another place called the dashboard. Okay. Can you guys see the pop-up on my screen or not? Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this is what happens when you are being suggested to cross-promote. So I am going to go to growth sources because this is what came up on my screen, right? So I'm going to view my possible growth sources because as a publisher, you absolutely want new subscribers. So new subscribers would be my best growth source, but I don't have any folks to put in here because I haven't done anything. So a source can be an email list, a list of subscribers you have on another platform if you can get it. It is a way to make what you know visible to folks that you both know and don't know. So if I were going to add my contact list, for example, from my phone, that came up last week, it would be a way to tell everybody who you think you know that you've got a Substack now. So that is what happens here. In posting, I have choices for, I can create a text post, which is some sort of written word that can contain links and graphics and all sorts of stuff, as long as you know how to create it and pop it in there. And I say that it needs to be in various formats that is what we could get into, but you would end up with pure text if you did not attach any additional formatting language to it, either HTML or MD Markdown. A audio post is interesting because they're not calling it a podcast anymore. I think that was a good choice. An audio post allows you to bring in a written word text and have the engine, the AI engine in Substack, from that generate a voice podcast for you. So it will process WAV files, it'll process your existing podcasts, it'll process almost anything that is in MP3, WAV, or ACC, which is the native Apple format.
Hey, Stephanie, Steve has a question.
Go
And
ahead.
Dr. Chris does after that.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Rebecca. Stephanie, is Substack the same with ratios and the percent of comments that will affect your posts?
I'm going to broadly say yes, and I'm going to specifically say I would have to look at how and what information is been made available. Generally speaking, if you get more comments than you do likes, most algorithms see it that way. Substack as a publishing platform for authors may look at that differently because comments would be a good thing. So I want to take a minute and get you a better answer on that, which I can do after this call and we'll get it to you. Because intellectually, it doesn't make sense.
Would it be appropriate if I was going to start posting on Substack to ask for positive comments or emojis?
Always. We are all always asking for positive comments and emojis. I think it just depends what forum we do it in.
Good. Thank you.
You're my pleasure.
Yeah, and
Chris?
another statistic that might be part of the ratio in Substack would be whether you have subscribers or followers. Like obviously those folks care about what you're sharing and want to see it. So if you're, and you could look at it over time too, like if your subscribers or followers number is declining, you're probably headed in the wrong direction. So something to think about.
Excellent. Really good add-in. Thank you. Chris, did I hear you say Dr. Chris had something?
Yeah, so it was actually on the other it was on the slide right before this, or the screen showing before it, but I can talk it.
No.
So it was about when you had the thing up about your subscribers and about the people that had viewed your page. And what I was curious about, are those raw numbers that they're giving you, or are they listing names of people?
No, it's raw numbers from my belief.
Raw number. Okay, that's what I was curious about. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, another way to promote your page or get subscribers. See, I'm not really trying to do that, just so we all know. Direct messaging. So if I wanted to, for example, DM someone in Substack, going out on a limb because this is Stephanie's being. So who could I possibly DM? Anybody that has their chat open. So let's find Ed.
Let's find Heather Cox Richardson.
Okay, let's do that. Now, well, no. See, so this prints. How do you actually communicate with her? Well, you don't unless you already have a chat set up. So you start by going to her publication where you can talk to her. So we're going to come over here and we're going to search all of Substack. I apologize, my screen really moves slow. Okay. I am following her. And now, get out of here. I am sure that is not where I intended to end up. I apologize. At the moment, I can't see the top of my screen from Zoom, and I am trying to navigate without being able to see the screen. So we could end up with anything here. We're going to try the old backspace bar. I'm going to stop sharing and get myself sorted out and just talk. So tell me what it is you want to try and accomplish, Chris.
No, I just wanted to know how you were able to message somebody, because I always hear Heather Cox Richardson talking about, Yeah, and folks sent me a question and somebody
Okay.
sent me a question. So I think you were just getting ready to show us this is how you message somebody, right?
Yeah,
Correctly?
I will start over. So you do it as by initiating a chat in their on their post, assuming that they have their chats open to post. So you see, I went to the chat button, chat menu choice icon here, and I can talk to my own chat if I enable it. So people have the choice of enabling or not their chat, because some folks want to engage with their subscribers and some folks don't. So we'll enable the chat on my I'm unleashing the Kraken.
Here, I can,
Now
do you want me to share an example?
that'd be great.
I've got one up.
Thank you.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
no problem. So I'm not signed up to Substack. So I'm not signed in. I don't have the app or anything. So I've got, whoever is showing up in here. So for me, Pete Buttigieg is, showing up first up here. So I can click on his name and I can see everything that he's put out there. Well, not everything that he's put out there, what he's made public for everyone. Um, and so I've got a couple of options. I can subscribe to him, and I would do that by hitting this orange button, or I can message him. And that's what Stephanie was talking about, like how to send somebody a direct message. So I could click that. I would have to sign in to do it, but if you're already signed in, you could click this message and it would take you to the screen where you could type him a message and be like, "Hey Pete, love your stuff. I do have a question. What about XYZ?" And then you could send it to him and it would show up in his inbox. So that's just a kind of a quick example.
That was really great. I appreciate you getting that behind the scenes. Chris, did that
No,
help?
that's good. I guess I didn't realize that I really only use Substack to I subscribe and then I get the emails and then that just, I typically just click on the emails versus I'm not hanging out in Substack, I guess is the best way. So you guys have showed me a lot of different possibilities with Substack, so thank you.
Well, that is excellent. If we got a reader adoption discussion going and you now have a better idea that you can absolutely send Heather Cox Richardson messages all day long if you want to, or one maybe. But that's how she gets them in Substack. So that was good. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that. That was great. Everybody is real quiet today, or I'm talking too much and I don't know which is true. I don't have any raised hands. This is usually a group who wants to discuss everything. I'm just gonna, what if I open the mic and we just kind of roundtable?
Let's go over Google Docs.
Okay.
Well, so we only have a couple of minutes left.
Oh, never mind.
Maybe we don't open an entirely different can of worms. That's my vote.
I'm with you. We can talk. How about if we talk generally about Google Docs for a couple of minutes?
And
What it is.
I'd love to see a full session on it, Stephanie, because start to finish, like just the way you guys do it, where it's kind of beginning to end. So, but I do agree it's an important topic.
Well, let's do
No,
it
I
next
mean,
time then.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to go start to finish. I've got an idea and I start that idea with typing it into wherever. And then maybe I take it over to Chat GPT to help me form it out. And then maybe I take that into Word. But I'm doing all of that using tools that help me do it faster, because it kind of makes me crazy to have to tap on an icon and try and figure out how to get something word wrapped the way I want it. It's just tedious. And we don't need to do it anymore. We can have all that done for us so we can go talk to folks, talk to people, not be sitting behind a tube figuring out how to interact with it. Because I am stuck there at the moment and I clearly find it a little frustrating. So I'm doing this. So thank you all for listening, because you can get out there. I can't at the moment.
So we have a question. Someone joined late and wanted to know if we were teaching Discord. We usually teach Discord, or we discuss Discord early in the call. So join us next Wednesday at 2:00 Central, and we will absolutely we will cover Discord once again. I did type in the instructions for how to get started with us in the chat. So that will at least get you able to log in, and then next week, yeah, come back and join us.
Yeah, it's great. If for nothing else, then we got somebody else who wants the Discord link.
I was just gonna throw out a comment, like it has nothing to do with technical training, but there's a lot of us seniors, and right now during the middle of my Zoom, my doctor called and they're not doing virtual appointments. So some people may want to know that. So if I put that on Discord, would it be like in the sandbox? Like I'm just saying it affects a lot of people, and like, what the hell? That just happened today.
You could put it in the news and discussion section.
Okay. Yeah, I just haven't really used. I'm just saying it affects a lot of people, especially if you live in a small town and they're not going to pay for, unless you're live at the doctor, they're not going to pay for tele appointments anymore as of today, Medicare.
Deanna, I looked that up and it said that in a lot of rural areas it will still cover it, or if you're like disabled, but other than that, probably not.
No heads up about it. It just happened all of a sudden today. So I was planning a trip to Florida and now I'm going to have to be here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty common way of working for this administration. Just pull the lever, no preparation.
No heads
Right.
up, and then all of a sudden it's like boom. It's my doctor's office didn't. They said it's going to be for all their patients effective today, and so I was scheduled. I'm having
Wow.
surgery, and then I had a follow-up appointment 3 weeks after, and they go, nope, you can't be virtual anymore. So anyway, I was
Deanna,
just
that would be a great story for us to share. This is the kind of stuff that,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, oh gosh. So
luckily I hadn't hit the trigger on my airplane ticket and paid money like on a hotel that's non-refundable and stuff. So
No, for sure. I agree. I think it'd be great for you to come to sharing our stories. We're sorting our stories now because that's what I do. And you'd get some great opportunity for folks who would be really interested in listening and hearing your story and then reproducing it so that the folks that I think that you are trying to reach will get it. But a Discord post as an early warning is magnificent. I think that's what Discord's supposed to be, conversational. I mean, it's like, I don't know if we're posting at each other, but I don't see a huge amount of interaction. I posted stuff on Section 230. I posted stuff on security. So the technology channel isn't really about technology. It's about technology as it relates, or at least I try and keep it there. So I really appreciate everyone coming to our talk today and sitting through our way of going about doing things. Thank you, Rebecca, for stepping up on Discord and grabbing me as example. You are magnificent at what you do every day. And I do not know how I would get through this without you. So thank you very much. And if nobody has any, if there are no additional, there's a way to say this, no additional conversation or participation, we'll all leave and we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much.
hey, Stephanie, wait for just 1 second before you close down the Zoom so I can get Deanna's number.
Will do. I'm not going anywhere.
It's okay. It's in the chat, but it's taking me a minute to get it.
It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
We're not going anywhere. We're just finished. We are not like steaks. We don't get done. We get finished. We are people.
Gosh, but I'm thinking about her story and
Thank you.
how people is that going to impact that we're counting on Zoom calls, and then now all of a sudden they have no access to their healthcare, or they're making access really difficult.
exactly.
Well, to me, it's just another wrench that you can throw to
Yes.
make somebody's life freaking hard. It's like any way you can challenge me, you're going to throw something in front of me to do it.
Yeah, because they'll
Sorry.
be less likely to have the appointments, especially if they live hours away from, wherever their primary care doctor is. I mean, I do telehealth myself, so I don't have a doctor. I mean, I have a couple doctors, but one of them is a remote doctor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there are all sorts of ways of thinking about eating. Step back and think, okay, so is this allowing for doctors who are not in the US? I mean, you go in, but healthcare's got all of that covered. This is not a security risk. It's a convenience that happened
Yeah.
during COVID that everybody got real ramped up to do. And there's no reason to stop it except to be a destructive pain in the ass, frankly.
But
This
Beth,
is,
I'll have to research it because Beth, isn't it you, Beth, that said
yeah,
there are some exceptions. They didn't go into that. I happen to be disabled, so maybe I could push the issue a little bit because I literally found out in the middle of this Zoom call. It just happened to me, and I'm thinking, what the hell?
yeah.
And Deanna, that was on Medicare specifically. That's
Specifically Medicare. It's not
Yeah.
like if you're young and you're on regular insurance.
But
It's just something that Medicare. And they
Chris,
used to, because I'm not on Medicaid. I happen to be on traditional Medicare. It
as
happens to be,
Medicare goes, so goes the world. The CMS guidelines control the world eventually. It just starts there.
right.
And you know that, Chris.
yeah.
I apologize. It just is. I know how it rolls. You set a CDC Medicare guideline for CMS, and then it suddenly, and I'm doing alphabet soup because I'm frustrated by this.
Yeah, so I
Um,
don't know what CMS is.
The Center for Medicare Services. They are the
Oh, yeah.
administrators. So they issue their policy statement, right?
Okay.
So budgetary guidelines happen. We don't have a budget. So I don't know how, I mean, okay.
Yeah, it says
A
they're rolling
policy,
back
yeah,
to pre-COVID guidelines.
exactly. So that's all they'll do because none of this stuff existed before COVID, or if it did, it was in a very limited fashion for most
Yeah,
folks.
I had never done it for COVID.
Exactly. So companies, healthcare services, everybody has ramped up this ability for this on a secure end-to-end channel. And now it's like, we don't need that. I think you will see some pushback from providers who are not the insurers who may have stood some of this up because there's a whole collaboration in this space because I spent a little time there. Maybe that's why I have such passion about it.
Hey, Laura, I don't think that's the CMS that Stephanie was talking about unless you were meaning to be funny. So,
Yes, I was
right?
meaning to be funny, thus the hearts and the smile.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay.
Beth, tell us more. You seem to have something to say.
Oh, so I went on Medicare.gov and it says due to the shutdown, updates to information may be limited or delayed.
There you go.
Wow.
So now we
So
can all
not
just
only
sit
are they
in.
cutting off the Zoom access, now their own website
No,
isn't going.
what that doctor has done is obeyed in advance. They think it's coming and they're going to
Oh,
make it happen. That is my
oh,
take that I could finally get to. I
got
apologize.
it.
Thank everybody
it.
for bringing in the resources that I needed to get there. Beth, you are
Oh,
well documented.
so my doctor's office said they said it's effective today, but you're saying that's not true?
I'm saying that they want it to be effective today because it may happen. Beth, do you have clarifying information?
Well, on one of the articles I read, it said there may be some Medigap protections that were put in place in 2021. But
all right. So we're ill-informed to talk about this 100%.
Exactly.
I think that your doctor is obeying in advance because he thinks it's coming. Because
They said they have it in writing that it's effective today.
Tell them to send it to you. I would love to know what it is. God, please, if they can send it to you, get it from them. I want to know what advice they have in their hands.
Okay, I'll call back and then I'll
sorry.
try to put it, like she said, in the announcements on the Discord or something.
That'd be great.
It just hit me, and I haven't done any research because I was in the middle of this Zoom meeting. So,
well, my heart's breaking for you, which is why I got so
it says
flustered up over it.
And now on this one under AI, it says telehealth flexibilities allowing care from any location are set to end September 30th. Unless Congress acts to make them permanent. Starting October 1st, most Medicare telehealth services will revert to pre-pandemic rules requiring patients to be in a medical facility in a designated rural area. However, coverage for certain behavioral health services from federally qualified health centers and rural health clinics, as well as end-stage renal disease visits, will continue through that date.
Can you,
So-
just for the heck of it, can you put that link in the chat and then I'll copy it just so I have it? I can Google it too, if you happen to have the link to it or not really.
So that actually says that it is actually in the budget bill to end, and so that's why it's ending, right, on the 30th.
But there hasn't been a vote. So it's ending if for no other reason than we're in limbo or the Bardo, or as I like to call it, the hallway, because it's a bitch right now because we're all wasting our time trying to figure out what's going to happen. And it's
But
not a waste of
Stephanie,
time, it's self-interest.
Is it possible that it was in the budget reconciliation bill? That's what I was thinking.
I know, yeah, like, because if they didn't extend it, it
'Cause there was
ended,
a
like
vote.
she said, unless they actually vote to extend it. Is that what you said, Beth? Yeah.
Yeah. So my point was, I think it is in the same category as the Obamacare stuff. There were certain things that were due to expire unless they put it in the budget reconciliation bill. They intentionally did not put it in the budget reconciliation because they were going to allow it to expire. I mean, that's one of the reasons the Dems are pushing back.
And that sure did not get any
Beth.
airplay. That's sure, like you said, it's in writing there, but it's like I feel like I'm pretty active. I didn't hear anybody mention a word of that.
Said the current flexibilities were part of a federal continuing resolution that Congress extended through September 30th to prevent a federal shutdown.
Yeah.
Without further congressional action, the extensions will expire on October 1st.
There you go.
So that would mean that we're still in negotiate. Again, I am splitting hairs, but we are still, the Dems are fighting for what it is that we're going to keep in the bill, right? That's why we're shut down, because we don't want to agree to the current budget.
Right.
No, that is not why we're shut down. Or I'll tell you why. That's why this is what I think. Okay. And then you guys let me know if I'm off base on this. A budget bill passed, okay, meaning it passed through the House and Congress, right? And that's the big, bad, beautiful, bad bill, okay? Meaning that's it. It passed. But then there is this, what we're going through right now, where we don't have enough money to keep the government running. And so that's why they needed this additional budget bill, I'll call it, right? In other words, the continuing resolution, right? Saying we need this amount of money in order to keep the government running. And in order to get that bill, so this is a new bill, not the big bad bill, okay, because that one's already passed. It's already law. Trump signed it. They said, things that you put in the big bad bill, we are going to want to reverse. You are going to let certain things expire, and we do not agree with that. You cut $1 trillion in Medicaid and whatever, and we want that re-added back into the budget. So that's what the impasse is now, as I understand it. So meaning, just as Deanna said, it and Beth read, it expired because they didn't have any provision to extend it, and the Republicans didn't want to extend it, so it is gone. Okay, but but I would guess it is probably in the negotiation, because I don't know all the details of all the things they've asked for healthcare wise, but I would imagine this would be one of them. But we should, because it's still a significant thing, this telehealth or whatever they're calling the provision.
So should we use like the 5 calls and like kind of get the word out, like tell your senator to get that back in there?
Well, does anybody know what exactly Schumer and Jeffries, like, does anybody have a list of what all the demands were that they went to the meeting? Because if you can find that, I would love it, because all I know is general stuff. We're fighting for healthcare, we're fighting for whatever, but I don't know their detailed list, because they had other stuff in it, like Center for Disease Control funding and other things, but their talking points are very simple intentionally. They're trying not to have like a laundry list.
I'll send you a detailed list, Chris, and then we can.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's in
I don't know what else to
time.
say. I'll be happy to get a list of everything that is known to be considered and distributed. I think that is where we are now, is that we are some lines in the sand, so we should know what those lines are and be able to discuss them intelligently. Did you have I'm sorry, Deanna. Did we get everything that you needed out of this? Because this is really important.
I know.
And we're talking all over
can
you.
of worms. Thank you, Beth, for sending that Time article. I'm gonna share that, and it just is like another thing that we have to be pissed about, and we got to try to fight for our rights to keep it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Beth, for that
Yeah.
article.
I
Yeah, no
agree with
problem.
Deanna, is there's been so much noise about other, there's been so many things that this one was just one of many, right? And it just kind of slipped through
I
everybody's
think it
radar.
got buried, like, because I know, there, even from this call, I don't know their names, but there's been some people on the phone that said your Medicare premiums they're not going to double, but they're going to significantly increase. And so that's the one that I was kind of hearing about, that the Democrats are fighting so that everyone's insurance premiums don't double and stuff. That's what I'm kind of seeing and hearing on the news. But
Yeah,
I copied
I
something
think
of,
they focus on the affordable care stuff as well as everybody's premiums being impacted, because they wanted to make sure that people realize this is going to impact everybody, right?
Right.
Meaning there are people that have Affordable Care Act, but anybody that has health care, your premiums. Whereas if they had just said Medicaid, right, then people would say, oh, well, I'm not poor, I don't get Medicaid, I don't care. I heard there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid. So actually, I would say I have to give the Dems credit here. They did the right thing by, focusing on what they did,
That's
what
a
they
hot button for everybody. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's not just for Medicaid. It's even
Exactly.
if you're on traditional Medicare, your
Exactly.
premiums are going up, and unless the Republicans change it. And all the
Exactly.
Republicans are pointing the finger, oh, it's the Democrats' fault. It's like, well, hell no.
I put an article about what Schumer and Jeffries are supposed to cover.
Oh, just here in the chat here, let's see.
Yeah.
So it's even on their radar? It's or not? It's about the premiums, right? It's mostly what's getting the play, right?
I don't see anything but the Time article.
You don't see below?
Oh, she
below
just
that?
added it. Beth just
Yeah.
added it in the chat.
Oh,
It just
okay.
got added here.
I was looking for a link. So is this from, what's your source, Beth?
This is from, this is just apparently AI generated answer.
I know,
I
I'm
mean,
starting to get that now.
looks in general. I'm looking for the laundry list that they took to the meeting saying this is what we want as our starting point in negotiations. I'd love to see that list.
Here's one from the Independent. Hold on. I didn't read it. I just saw the title.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has like a laundry list. But I'll save it and read it in later. Okay.
Well,
That's all I got.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I keep.
Go ahead.
No. I didn't know if we were done with the topic, because I was going to answer a question for Chris that she had before we started this discussion. And we're now at a little bit past where we may have planned to be. So
I think the technology call is technically over.
Yeah.
Well, I understand. I'm the host. I'm happy to make Beth. I just need to bail. You guys can stay on for as long as you're comfortable doing this.
Stephanie, if you need to go, you need to kick us off.
Okay, then you know what? We're rolling.